As we move into Chapter 5, we're going to start looking at the study materials that we've included within the discussion board. I think you're going to find many of these study documents will really open your eyes up to a lot of aspects of electronic communication that you never really thought about, and I think they'll be quite helpful for you. And as a project engineer, and we cannot stress this more, especially with this module right here with electronic communication, the better you get at managing your electronic communication, the more value you're going to be to your company. Because guys that can really do that well are very much in demand. And secondly, what it does is it gives the company a much better image of who they are as a company because they've hired you to do that. So, the more time you can focus on this aspect, it's just a great place to really fine tune your skills. Without it, it's not a lot of work. It's just learning different ways about going about it, such as doing your emails only 3 times a day instead of all day long. So now I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to all the materials contained within the discussion board. And there's quite a bit of it here. So, and I apologize for having so much here, but there's so much to cover in this one category that we really need to go ahead and work your way through it. And with this being self-paced, take your time. I mean, if it takes more than a week or two to get through it, that's fair enough. Just stay on it and, continually try and improve your skills as you go along. So we're going to go ahead and go and look at it from the computer screen. And let me go back here real quick. Hold on just a second. And we'll just go ahead and close this out. Okay, now we're in the academy. I'll just go home. I'll take us to the first place we go. We're going to go ahead and go to PE100, Elements of Communication. Click on that. We're going to go down to our Module 4, Electronic Communication. We go to the discussion board and then our classroom materials. Now, the first one here is the video that you're watching right now. And it's broken out into not only the full-length video, but it also has each one of the chapters broken out separately. So you can see Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3 on down. So if you want to study them individually, which probably is going to be your easiest way to do it, just click on it whenever you need it and they'll all be here. So once that's our original video. Now we're going to go ahead and move into a lot of the materials we've included here. Now, I quoted a couple of stats in previous videos about these 8 scary stats about your email habits. And here they are. They're just real simple stats, but I never knew email distraction docks your IQ by 10 points. So every time you're distracting yourself with emails instead of organizing your email process, you're losing IQ, which is pretty funny. So, but no, look at every one of these and you'll kind of see, hey, this is what's going on in the real world. And it's not me making this stuff up. And you can see here, every one of these has been researched, and you can look at these hyperlinks right here. And if you click on any one of them, they'll take you to the actual document, and it'll go through the study, how they did the study, and all that. So this is just kind of to open your eyes up a little bit. When we move on back down, the use of email in business communication. This has really got some nice factors to it: function, the format, the etiquette, considerations, and all that. So every one of these has something in it that will help you to a lesser or greater extent, depending on what your current knowledge base is and everything else. Here again, we have another one, the 7 bad email habits. And you can just go in here, and we all recognize this: hanging questions. Come on, why are you doing that to me? or buried requests. And then we see this a lot with general contractors, because it's a way for them to kind of trick us into, we solved one part of it, but we didn't really solve what was in the overall email, because they buried part of the request down further into it. Wrong medium, of course, is important, and we're going to get to that in our next module as well. But then these are just very simple things. We've seen the guys that try and be clever, and we know what that usually ends up being is basically, you end up, a lot of people laughing at you because you're trying to be so darn smart. So every one of these, once again, will have some meaning to you relative to your own position. The disadvantages of using email, and there are quite a few disadvantages of emails if you're doing it within your company, because you end up spamming yourself, and you end up sort of getting some of the people to where they got copied but some didn't, and where is the right place to draw the line and that type of stuff. So as you can see, this thing is just chock full of really good advice on how to do your communication, and then there's two more here as well. So that essentially is the discussion board. And so what we'd like for you to do is just go ahead, read all this stuff, and your test at the end of your assignment, at the end of the class, will touch on some of these issues in here. So you do want to read it. And then try and practice it as much as you can. So we'll leave this here as the classroom materials, and then I'll move into the last section, which will be our assignment for the discussion board.